Apple has introduced a lot of amazing products throughout the years, but along with many new products, we had to say goodbye to a couple of old products. But it looks like Apple will be bringing back some great old products. First, the HomePod. No, not the current HomePod mini, the full-sized HomePod. This was introduced back in June of 2017 and released in February of 2018. The HomePod packed amazing sound quality, but Apple launched it at $349, later reducing it to $299. But considering the smart speaker market mainly consisted of small smart speakers like the Google Nest Mini and Amazon Echo Dot, and some higher-end but affordable smart speakers like the Nest Audio and regular Amazon Echo, the HomePod entering in with the $349 price tag was not really successful. Not to mention, Siri sucked and still sucks to this day. Although Siri has gotten better, it still sucks compared to Google Assistant and Alexa. Then on October 13th, 2020, Apple announced the HomePod Mini, a smart speaker with an incredibly small design and great sound quality, and it's only $99. Combined with the Apple S5 SIP allowing for computational audio, and Apple's U1 chip allowing the ability to point an iPhone with the U1 chip to start playing audio from the iPhone to the HomePod Mini. Because of the success of the HomePod Mini, Apple decided to discontinue the original HomePod on March 12th, 2021. But Mark Gurman has said that Apple is working on a new HomePod that is similar in size and sound quality to the original HomePod, and will be powered by Apple's S8 SIP, launching with the Apple Watch Series 8 later this year. Gurman says this new HomePod will launch early next year. Next, the 12-inch MacBook. This is the one I'm most excited for. The 12-inch MacBook was announced on March 9th, 2015, and it is still, to this day, the lightest Mac Apple's ever made, even lighter than the M2 MacBook Air. And it was incredibly thin at just 13.1 millimeters thin. And it is also incredibly small. The full-size keyboard defines the size of the notebook. But it had a lot of issues, like the butterfly keyboard, the single USB-C port, which in some cases would fail and stop working, the terrible Intel Core M CPUs that were slow and would also fail and stop working, the 480p FaceTime camera, and much more. And Apple discontinued the 12-inch MacBook on July 9th, 2019. But Apple has solved all of these issues. The butterfly keyboard is gone. We have ports and MagSafe on MacBooks. The FaceTime camera is now 1080p, and most importantly, we have Apple Silicon, which is way more energy efficient and way more powerful than Intel. With all these fixed, this design is now possible again, and Mark Gurman has said that Apple's working on a new 12-inch MacBook for release in late 2023 or early 2024. Gurman said in a recent interview with Max Tech that this new 12-inch MacBook will be coming with the M3 era, and thinks that this new 12-inch MacBook will be a new 12-inch MacBook Pro. Yes, a 12-inch MacBook Pro, kind of reminiscent of the 12-inch PowerBook introduced back in 2003. I mocked up what it would look like right here. And finally, the Imac Pro. This device was announced on June 5th, 2017, alongside the HomePod we talked about earlier, and the Imac Pro launched on December 14th, 2017. This thing, unlike the other products we talked about, the iMac Pro was loved by many pros and had very little issues. This thing was the fastest Mac Apple's made at the time, with an 8, 10, 14, or 18 core Xeon W processor, an AMD Radeon Pro Vega 56 or Vega 64 GPU, up to 128 gigabytes of memory, and up to a 4TB SSD. The iMac Pro featured a similar design to a 27-inch iMac,
but it's in this seriously badass space gray finish.
And the iMac Pro came with 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, 2 USB-A ports, a UHS to SD card slot, and a headphone jack. And the iMac Pro is the first Mac with 10 gigabit Ethernet, which is later brought to the 2018 Mac Mini and the M1 Mac Mini. And on March 19th, 2019, Apple added some upgrades to the iMac Pro, with the option for 256 gigs of memory and the option for a Radeon Pro Vega 64X GPU. And on August 4th, 2020, Apple discontinued the 8-core version of the iMac Pro, but made the 10-core one the base model. But on March 6, 2021, Apple discontinued the iMac Pro and sold it while supplies last. With this discontinuation, all build-to-order configs of the iMac Pro were not available anymore. And on May 14th, 2021, Apple even discontinued the Space Gray accessories that were bundled with the iMac Pro. And on March 8th, 2022, Apple announced the Mac Studio and Studio Display. But with this announcement, Apple discontinued the 27-inch iMac, leaving only the 24-inch iMac in the iMac lineup, making it the first time since 2002 that we've not had two sizes of the iMac. But that might not be the case for long, because Mark Gurman said that Apple's also working on a new Pro iMac with variations of the M3 chip, and that it will be larger, obviously. Most likely the M3 Pro and M3 Max. Considering this thing is not going to be coming out until the M3 generation, it's probably going to be coming out in 2023 or 2024. So these products were loved by many, and it looks like Apple's going to be bringing them back, and I'm ready for it.